This video is about replacing the cables, the door handle cables in a Ford E150 2006. And I tried to do it with the mechanism inside the door, which, you know, everything you take apart you got to put back together. So I tried to do it without taking it out, but I could not. And the reason being is, so this one I actually was able to get in while it was still in the door. You got this hole, you slip the ball through that hole and push this all the way this way, and then you can get it in there. Oh, it isn't immediately obvious, but you just have to get it. I don't know how I did it, to be honest with you. Well, one thing, this rubber wasn't here. So now this one, I could not get it from inside, and I still am not sure how I'm going to get it. So where is that piece? Okay, here it is. So it has to go, the rubber part goes here, and then this ball has to go in there. See that slot? And so far I haven't been able to figure out how to do it. But maybe with this off I can. Alright, I think I see what's going on. So I was moving both of these pieces, and the one piece blocks the other. I think if I only move this piece by itself, I'll be able to get that ball in there. I won't get the ball in, I'll be able to slip the wire up underneath into that slot. I can't do it and hold the camera though. Well, you can kind of imagine if that's pulled back, this will go up in here, or it'll go, the ball can be out here, and I just slipped that wire under. This one here, I was able to get it while it was in the door because basically the same thing. I put the ball through this hole and then slipped the wire under. There, I got it. It's really not too difficult when it's out, but boy, I don't think you can do it when it's in. I had to put the ball first and then move this with this nail, big nail. Now this part has to get shoved in to here, this rubber part, and it takes a little bit of force, which again I'm going to have to probably put the camera down because I can't generate enough force with the camera. Okay, so it took 1 second. I just pushed it with this screwdriver, just shoved it in there with the screwdriver. Now here's the thing of it. This brings me to my other point. I bought these things off eBay, and it seems like this is the second batch of these things I've bought. And I don't remember, because this isn't the first handle I repaired. If I was able to make these work on one of the other handles, I don't know for sure. But I can tell you right now, it's not worth it. So first thing you have to do is you have to open it up because the wire won't fit in here. So you can see where I jammed it with the screwdriver and opened that up. And the other thing you have to do is you have to drill this center out a little bit. Otherwise that wire will hang up. As it is, it's kind of... Then, it's hard to get this cable shoved in as far as it needs to go, and I don't believe it is as far as it needs to go at this moment. And here's the biggest problem of all. You can't, this goes in here because that rubber compresses and then it springs back out and stays. You can't compress this aluminum enough to make it go in there. And you know, maybe you can think of some way to machine this thing and make it work, but it ain't worth it. Just get these cables, just get these, they don't cost that darn much. Just get the original type equipment cables. One other thing I was going to mention, when I finally had to take this out, of course, I've taken this, I'm not going to put this back on because it doesn't work. But when I went to get the thing that was keeping me from taking it apart was the lock. Where's that lock? I was going to show you something. I guess it doesn't matter. It's really not that difficult. You peel this off, and then there's a plastic thing. Where's that lock? It's kind of self-explanatory. Most of my stuff is not that detailed. Here it is, of course, on the ground. So you just put a screwdriver in there and press those out, and then you can get it out of there. And when I go to put it back in, I'll just shove that rod in there. It's one of these fast assembly kind of things. So I guess that's about it for this. Hopefully I'll be able to get this done. This has been broke for so long, and I thought there was a mouse in there. I took that apart. I never did find anything, and never did, gosh, now I need to get it put back together. My poor old truck's been like this for 2 years. So I took this interior door handle off so I could show you a little something, if I can do it with one hand. But I gotta move that. Let's see. So the one thing I want to show you is the ball needs to go in there, but it won't go in there. It's not big enough. You have to put it through here like that, which seems kind of obvious when you can see it, but when it's hidden in the door, it's hard. It's just almost, I think it approaches the impossible. So now you can get it up like that, and then again, this has got to be smashed in, which I can use pliers. I might be able to do this on camera. Like that, and then let's get the pliers and apply some force. It's a little hard with one hand. That's a little hard with one hand. So, at any rate, you get the idea. You can't quite push it in with your finger or your hand. You just need a little more force than that. If you get the pliers on there, it'll squeeze it, or that one I jammed it in with the screwdriver. It just hardly takes a second with two hands. This makes me think some guys only have one hand. I had a hard time getting this lock plug back in too, because I tried to do it after the lock was installed. Then I ended up getting that rod against here in the direction that it was go, because it won't rotate. It won't rotate 360. So I first put it on wrong, it wouldn't rotate, and so then I had a hard time getting it apart, and then I plugged it in, like I say, while the lock was still out. It's locked. I'll tell you though, it was so much, what I was doing, I was reaching around like this, and then I'd reach in this hole and grab the wire and tug on that wire. Let's try just unlocking it like that. Really, the amount of difficulty, and then you couldn't, well, you could reach in this hole, one wire was still hooked up, and I just would tug on it. But really, the amount of time it took me after I got the right parts was really not very long in the greater scheme of things, as they say.